Hey guys, Lorene here with Silverman Nation. Hope you guys are having an amazing day, and we just want to thank you guys for tuning in to Silverman Nation. We really appreciate it. Also, guys, make sure you share, subscribe, and most of all, stay sober. Bye, guys.
Even now, I don't like going home, and I'm sober.
Yeah.
It's like, you ready to go?
Yeah. Sometimes you can find that one person, good conversation, and
Yeah.
time goes by so fast.
Oh yeah. Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of Silver Lining Nation, and today I have Abraham with us. I met Abraham through my producer Tam, and he's actually her UPS man. And a year ago, I would say about a year, 12 months ago, Tam came to me and she said, hey, you know what? I've got someone that I think would be great to be on Silver Lining Nation. And guys, this is when we were looking for people to be on the show, and we're like, feeling our way through. And anyway, Abraham is here with us today, and Abraham actually has 15 months sober, guys, and what a blessing. I remember when I first met him, we were talking shop. Shop is being in sobriety, and man, it seemed like I had always known you, Abraham. I'm that way with anybody that's in sobriety. I love addicts and alcoholics, and our first conversation, I'm sure you remember what we talked about. I mean, we were outside, and you were telling me how excited you were being sober, getting sober. And today, to her, that you've got 15 months, man.
And I'm still excited.
Oh, my God. I'm excited for you. What a blessing.
Exactly. Amen.
And, thank you so much for agreeing to be on Silver Lining Nation and coming here to tell your story. And we're excited to have you. What made you decide? I know, I'm going to cut to the chase. Enough is enough, and I'm sick and tired. What made you get there?
It was Easter Sunday, 2022. I was on a 3-day binge. Pain pills, and alcohol, whiskey, vodka. And I wasn't drunk. I don't care what I drank that day. I could not get, wouldn't get me to where I needed to be. I just thought to myself, I was like, what are you doing? You're killing yourself. I didn't mention this, but my wife don't even really know this. She knows I had a fatty liver, but I had the onset of cirrhosis. Doctor already told me this is going to be cirrhosis if you keep doing what you're going to do, what you're doing to yourself. So it's, you want to live or you want to die? And at that point, I chose live. It was what I did. And then I was sitting down with my brother-in-law and his father. He's a retired Master Chief from the Navy. And why the old man loves me, I don't know. But he does. And he cares a lot about me. It's just we clicked at the very beginning when we met. He rode a Harley, I rode a Harley.
Awesome.
So I was making excuses. And he said, one of them was money. Well, I can't afford it. So he looked at me and says, I'll pay for it.
Yeah.
You heard the sound go out.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. So he said he'll pay for you to go to treatment?
Yeah.
Awesome.
And I didn't want to take his money. So the next day I looked into it. Insurance was going to cover it. So I started making phone calls.
Wow.
And my wife didn't even know I was going. She just started getting emails. We shared the same email. So she started getting emails, and she called me like, are you going somewhere? And I said, I have to. I don't have a choice. So I did.
Awesome. And I bet, so you went to treatment center. How long were you in treatment?
The treatment center I went to, I'm not going to say, I forgot what it was called. It was a treatment center, but it was more, to me, it was kind of like almost like a nut house. So
it was more hardcore.
No, it was like people were there because they were forced to be. There was a lot of, I was there with some adults, but there was a lot of young younger people there, early 20s.
Okay.
And they were there because they were forced to be there from their parents.
Okay.
It wasn't like a state
Okay.
one where they were forced through jail or anything, but they were forced there because of their parents. So there was a lot of people there that didn't want to be there. They were just playing along. So I kind of had enough of it after a few days. After a week, I was I'm done. I can't do it because I'm gonna end up hurting somebody in here, and it's not gonna be good for them or me or the treatment center. So I chose to leave after a week, and then I did a week of outpatient.
Okay. I'm familiar with outpatient. Yeah.
But I did the so when I chose to do pain pills and drink alcohol, I like the feeling of being mellow, Well, they started giving me, I had to be medical detox, so they started giving me a concoction. I don't even remember what it was. And I didn't like that feeling. I was falling asleep standing up.
Wow.
So after 2 days, I believe, I told the nurse, I said, I'm not, she's like, it was med time. And I said, I'm not taking it. She's like, well, the doctor said you have to take it. And I said, well, I'm not taking it. Well, you got to sign this. And I said, okay, I'll sign whatever I have to sign because I'm not taking that stuff anymore. I don't like the way it makes me feel. So I finished out that week, and I just kind of played along with it, I'm not going to say play along with it. I went to every class they had. And most of it I've heard this because I did it, I just heard it.
You've been in it before.
Yeah. But it was just, then I did the week of outpatient, and that was actually better for me than being in the center because it was more, I got to talk to a therapist. Like in the center I did talk to a therapist, but it was 15 minutes, 10 minutes. Then I got to talk to the actual sit down, talk, and that helped a lot.
Because you do the 101 in the outpatient treatments. Yeah. And did they do the family where they have your family come in once a week?
Yeah, they never did.
Okay, they didn't do that. Okay. And
then after I left the treatment center, I went back to work, of course, but then I chose to see a psychiatrist because I've always dealt with depression. And I've always had a lot of anxiety. It was one of the reasons why I drank was to calm down. But then after I got sober, I still had anxiety. And I just couldn't understand why, So I started seeing a therapist. And that helped a whole lot. Cool. Kind of just talking to the one person for, an hour or whatever it was. And then she put me on some medication. But I didn't like that stuff either. So I kept it in a little anxiety pill, and I actually still will take one every once in a while. If I know I'm going to be in a crowd, I'll take one. And that goes for family too, because even if I'm around a lot of family, I have to have one. But I probably haven't, I don't know, maybe a month. It's just something I use if I know I'm going to be around people I don't know. But yeah, that helped a lot. I haven't seen her in a while, but I need to go back.
It talks about, we talk about the insanity of this program. And I know before I came into the rooms, some of the things that I would do, I didn't know that they were insane. Have you had such an experience when you were drinking before you came into the 12 steps?
Oh, yeah. I used to be a real angry drunk. Really, really angry. And I used to love to fight. But that was really not my personality. I'm really a nice person. I could deal with it. I can understand that. I just didn't really, and that goes back to where I didn't care about myself. So I didn't care what happened or what I did to you or what you did to me, because I didn't care. But I love myself. So
can you think of something that you did that was totally insane? And
I'd be in jail.
I can give you an example of one of mine. It's because we both discussed before we started airing on the podcast. We're discussing some of our craziness and things that we done. One of my insanity moves were I was driving my car down 75, and at this time this was my second. I had 2 DWIs. I'm on my third one. And the insanity of this thing is I wasn't supposed to be driving. I've got breathalyzer on my car, but I'm still driving. My mind tells me it's okay to do this. Any normal person would know not that why would I get it behind a wheel that I got to blow into before I could start up. So have you ever experienced anything similar to insanity? Like,
yeah, I drove home plenty of times drunk, and I've
Yeah.
never got a DWI. Thank God.
I got
actually got
yours.
stopped.
I got them for you.
I actually got stopped one time, and I had a bottle of bourbon in my lap.
Mm-hmm.
And the cop pulled me over, and he asked me, "Have you been drinking?"
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at him. I said, "I'm still drinking."
Mm-hmm.
So he said, "How far do you live?" And I
Wow.
live kind of far. I said, "But my mother-in-law lives right down the street."
Uh-huh.
So he actually followed me home. He poured the liquor out, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Followed me to my mother-in-law's house, watched me get inside, and said, "Don't let me see you tonight." I said, "You will
Awesome.
not see me tonight."
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of my stuff goes back to when I was drinking. I always hung around a group of people, family,
Mm-hmm.
and we would just go do crazy stuff. You know, it's stuff that probably I should be in jail for.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if sober, I wouldn't have did it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Drinking, my mind's not right, and I was a whole different person.
Mm-hmm.
So I did stuff that I should have never did.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I'd wake up sometimes, and when we lived in an apartment, I'd wake up and didn't know how I got home, but I'd wake up, look outside, and I'd say, "Okay, I'm under the carport. I made it home."
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember getting there. You don't remember anything,
Mm-hmm.
but I would wake up at home, and I don't know, it's crazy stuff that I think of now that I should have never did. Now, towards the end, when I was drinking for days on end,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't drive. I never drove. And that goes back to something.
for you.
Yeah, that go back to some of the things like, well, I'm not an alcoholic because
I don't do this.
I don't do that. You know?
Yeah.
I don't drink. I never really drank. I'd have a beer on the way home or whatever, and I wouldn't drink till 9 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
But at 9 o'clock, I'd slam them till I passed out. To me, that was okay because I wasn't an alcoholic because I didn't drink till 9
Because
o'clock.
you're controlling
I
it.
controlled it, but actually it controlled me.
Yes. Yes. That's called trying to control our drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't good at it.
Me either.
No.
Me either. So let's go back. Did you start? So you're saying that your family, you grew up with addicts and alcoholics. So you were raised around liquor and drugs. When did you start?
I grew up really fast. You know, I had a daughter, when I was 15. So I was 14 when I made my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
So I was probably 14, 15 years old when I started drinking and smoking pot and stuff like that. It's when I was about that time. Because I remember during high school, my friends would always, they'd bring me home drunk. Leave me on the porch, and my mom would get pissed off. And, so it was pretty young. I didn't really start drinking. I mean, I've always drank. 35. I figured it out. It was about 35 years I drank. Last 6 years, I drank every day till I passed out. I really don't know. I don't know where I went from. Obviously I got drunk when I was in high school, but I don't know where I went from that to the craziness. I just don't know. It just happened. I don't know if it built up to it or what happened. It just happened. But
yeah, I think with alcoholics, I look at it as being an invisible line, and you don't know when you're gonna cross over it. But once you cross over it, you can't. It's like once you become once a cucumber become a pickle, you can't go back and become a cucumber again. That's how I look at this disease.
Yeah.
So once you cross over that invisible line, you can't undo it. And most of us say we can't tell you when we crossed over that line.
yeah, I could never figure it out. I actually sat down and thought about it, but I just never could figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because I always drank. I always did drugs. My wife didn't. I mean, she knows now, but because I was honest with her when I came home, but she never knew I spent money on pain pills. And for a while, they got pretty expensive. And I think what really made me kind of weary of doing drugs was I was taking Percocet, and I got a Percocet one time, and I knew my tolerance. But for this one day, I took one, and something happened. I was out. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was laced with something else or what it was, but I was just out. They had to carry me to the car, carry me inside, and I don't remember anything. But I don't know where that craziness just started, but I know where it ended.
So you have an addiction instead of just drugs. You have prescription drugs.
Yeah, that goes back to back injury. I had a back injury 17 years ago. I blew a disc out. So they went in and took 2 discs out and put rods and screws in my back. 17 years ago, they were passing out pain pills like candy. So I had a unlimited supply.
Right.
And then that ran out. So then I would buy them here, there, and I would always buy them from people I knew. And they'd call me, hey, I got this many, I'll take them. I got this many, I'll take them. And then I had a shoulder injury 6 years ago, I don't remember. And it started all over. And got bad again. And then that's when drugs, they weren't passing them out like candy anymore. So then I started to where I was buying them, just here in the street. I would actually buy them down here on Gaston.
I know this area.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's Dixon. Yeah.
Dixon Circle. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, look at you.
Yeah, I know where it's at.
Yep, that was my hood.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my hood.
at.
So sometimes I do little clips about when I come over this way, and you're newly sober. Do you ever get anxiety when you come to areas that that you normally?
This is going to be a God thing. Can't explain it. But there was this place right here on this street on Gaston where I would buy pain pills. Well, when I came home, they're all gone. There's one guy out there, that I would talk to. These guys that just sits out there and drinks beer. I say, hey, man, what happened to so-and-so and so-and-so? Cops came and got them all.
Awesome.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen them since. I don't know. I say God.
Yeah. It's the miracle of the things that you just can't explain.
Yeah.
And some people would call it lucky and luck.
There's no luck.
No, it's not. I look for the miracles. If you don't look for them,
you'll never see them.
It'll pass you by.
Yeah.
So I look, and when they happen, it's like, thank you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I look and I notice, and I always give him praise.
But I don't get anxiety over here because this is where I grew up. I love this neighborhood. Now I could be on a whole lot easier route, but I choose to be here just because it's home to me. I love it around here.
Not shut the door on your past. I think that's what he's saying. Not running from your past. So yeah,
I even have a tattoo tomorrow. It's right there, East Dallas.
Like that. I like that.
Yeah.
So you're fit too. I see. So have you always worked out?
I started working out. Oh, this goes back to drinking. But I kept getting. I used to love to fight. And I kept getting, I went to jail a few times for assaults. And then one time I went to jail, I was leaving a topless bar, and me and one of my buddies were leaving, coming off of work, went there, we were leaving, and me and this guy bumped into each other. And he's like, do you have a problem? I said, man, I got a lot of problems. So we started fighting. Next thing I know, I'm in handcuffs. He was an undercover officer. So I went to jail, of course. Judge came out. And of course, they watched the video. He started the fight, so I beat it. But the judge told me, "You've been in jail for this many times for assaults." He says, "Next time I see you, I'm gonna make it a felony." So I quit then. I don't remember exactly how long. It's been a while, but I quit then, and I started working out. Got pretty addicted to it. It's my addicted personality.
Yes.
So I got pretty addicted to it, and then I messed around and messed up my back. I had to have back surgery from working out. Well, then trauma starts again. And then same thing, I got good again because I wasn't drinking. I started drinking again. So it was just a continuing cycle for me. But yeah, I've been working out this time since I've gotten sober. And I'm really, 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 really enjoying it. The way my body's changing. Really enjoying it.
Yeah, because I've always worked out even when I was drugging and drinking, but the results that I see that I get now being sober is like, wow, a lot better. Yeah, it's a lot better. And so was it hard for you to get sober? Was there a struggle? Did you just get pick up one chip, or how did that work for you?
This time was actually pretty easy because
Okay.
I really wanted to stop for a time before I got. I really wanted to stop because I knew it was not. You know what the doctor told me. You know, you get the onset of cirrhosis. You know, so I really wanted to stop. I just couldn't physically. I couldn't because I would get sick. So once I got past that stage, then it was easy. You know, I mean, I'm gonna say it's easy. It's been easy now. Life has been perfect for me these 15 months.
Good.
You know, I don't know. I haven't had any bad thing happen, or you know, I'm not gonna say I'm looking forward to it. I just want to. I want to know what my reaction is gonna be. How I react when something.
Well, let
bad
me
happens.
tell you right now. Enjoy that nothing's happening.
Yeah, life's
Because
perfect.
life will happen, but the 12th step provides us with the tools with how to deal with it when it does happen.
Yeah.
So that's
And I've got people
the
I can
beauty.
lean on now too.
Yes.
And this is going to be a strange, crazy story, but it's like God put people in like with me before I got sober. And then you know, I could go back now and think about it. Why did we meet? Okay. God.
Yeah.
And then again after I've gotten sober, you know, I've had friends that been sober that I never knew. Well, once I said, you know, I'm
Okay.
sober,
Yeah.
oh, they start
They
calling me,
come.
and I was like, man, you didn't. I didn't know, you know.
Yeah.
So you know, it's weird. You know, I'll give you a little example. There was a guy. He has a food truck, and I met him over here at El Rancho, and I was in there setting up my truck. I smelled the food. He went out there, saw him come back out, started talking to him. Where do you park your truck? Told me. It's like, that's right by my house. So I went the next Saturday, probably drunk. Got my food, and well, I went there, and I wasn't in uniform, and he recognized me. Hey, come up here. So he gave me some food. So you know, I ate there every Saturday for, I don't know, a month. So the time when I was going to go to treatment, I took some days off to try to get, you know, my mind right because I was leaving. And then I just looked at him. I said, hey, man, I might not be eating here no more for a little bit. He's like, what's going on? I said, man. He's like, you're leaving, right? And I was like, yeah, how'd you know? I just know. Let me pray for you.
Wow.
Yeah. It's crazy,
He just
right?
knew.
He knew. I don't know how. And then now, this has recently happened, but a friend I've known since elementary, I didn't know he was sober. But once I put out there I was sober, he started calling me, hey, man, checking up on me. How you doing? This, how you know, how's this going? How's this going? He would just call and check up on me. And I've always told everybody now, since I've gotten sober, if you know anybody, well, you never know what somebody's going through. You never know.
Yes.
But if you feel it, call and check up on them.
Yes, I
Call
believe
and check
that.
up on them. It makes a huge. It made a difference for me. So I kind of put it in my thing. You know, if I feel like somebody's dealing with something, I call and I check
If
up.
they're on your heart,
Yeah.
you need to check on
I do,
them.
yeah.
I believe in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, you know, after he was doing that for me, and then there was a little bit of time he didn't call, so I was like, well, let me call and check on him. Well, I didn't know he just had back surgery. So, and then he dealt with that. I'd call and check on him, you know, periodically, you know, every other week or so. And then he just reached out. Well, I reached out to him. He reached out to me. He's like, hey, I like the way you look. Can you help me getting back in shape? Man,
Awesome.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know. So we've been doing it. It's been just recent, about a month. We've been working out every Saturday. And then I told him, the guy that helped me, I was like, hey, man, so-and-so's got some open spots if you want to get back in shape. He's like, man, I really like working out with you. I said, okay.
Cool.
I said, because I really enjoy being with you. You know, it's
Good.
You know, I told my wife, I don't know if it's just somebody that's sober with the same goals in life to talk to.
Oh yeah, y'all can talk program.
Yeah.
You know,
We
and
talk past program.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
where we want to be, what we want to do.
Exactly, because
Yeah.
you're on the same goal, same
Yeah.
mission. So, what do you feel about the saying, in order to keep it, you got to give it away?
Yeah, I didn't understand it at first, but I do now. I do now, yeah. I mean, yeah, of course, if you're like, that goes back to where people are asking me, you know, how do I get sober? And I tell them, you know, if you don't have a problem with it, then don't stop. But if you have a problem with it, you got to figure it out. And there's a saying, and I've had this in my wallet for 14 months. Can I pull it out?
Yes,
I don't even
please
know.
do.
I don't even remember where I heard it, if I saw it or anything, and I just scratched it on this piece of paper, and I'm embarrassed to let anybody read it because I've never been a spelling bee champion, but I can understand it. And it just says, it's our responsibility to heal ourselves so we don't bleed on the people that didn't cut us. And I didn't understand. I was like, that's pretty cool. But I didn't understand it at first. I liked it, but I didn't understand it. But now I understand it. So, I'm just a firm believer in like self-help first, and everything will fall in place.
Yeah, because if I'm not spiritually fit myself, I can't help you.
Yeah.
So
that's me going back to where I didn't care about myself. So why am I going to care about you?
So have you worked the steps yet?
The first time going through the program, I did.
Okay.
I did.
Okay.
This time I'm on the one, I'm not exactly which step it is, but the one where you make a list and then you kind of go back to tell people you're sorry for what you did.
Yeah, you on that's step 9.
Yeah. I'm about right there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So the reason I asked you about the steps, because you were mentioned several times about loving you. And before I came into the rooms, I didn't know what that meant. I knew how to treat other people, but I didn't know that I didn't love me.
Yeah.
And that goes a lot with step 5. Do you remember that step 5 where
You'd have to say it.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
step
remember.
5 is where you have this big secret that you're not going to tell anybody, and it's like the one that you're going to take to your grave thing, and you tell your sponsor, and it's just a big relief once you get it off your chest. Something that it could have been something that happened to you during childhood, something even that we might have done that we weren't proud about. And I remember after I worked that step, my sponsor had me writing this paragraph or whatever you want of the woman I wanted to become.
No, I've never seen it done like that.
Because she said, if you can't envision her, you can't become her.
Wow.
So, and it was all about, that's how I learned to start healing and loving myself. Because I could see that woman every time, like even now, I can see her, and I have her in my journal. I can always go back when I'm not on the beam, the beam that we have. I can go back and say, I'm going on the path that this woman that I want to be is going on, and I can get back on that path. So, yeah, that was, when you mentioned loving yourself, it reminds me of that step.
Well, see, this time when I'm doing the steps, I've never written anything down, because I'll stop and I'll talk to, I'm going to say his name, but I mean, his name is Rudy.
Okay.
So I'll stop and talk to him, and he's like, there's some stuff, and he did tell me about this, there's like, hey, he says, no, don't say that, because you might be in jail, or, just take that one with you.
Yes.
But then, there's a couple times where, when I was telling him, you tell him about, like people you've hurt. There's people I have apologized to. The big one was apologizing to my oldest daughter's mom, because I treated her bad. Just a lot of hate for being put on child support. Her, and I'm not saying she forced my daughter on me, but my daughter was with me all the time, and every weekend, it's like, well, it's not my weekend, but she was with me, and I don't hate my daughter for being with me, but I wanted my time too.
Right.
So there was, I talked about her bad, so I went back and I apologized to her. What are you apologizing for? Well, I told her.
Yeah.
And then she's like, I forgave you a long time ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's not about us feeling good when we make that amends. It's about me cleaning my side of the streets.
Yeah. I forget how they say that. You got to make sure your side of the street's clean.
It's clean.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people go in with that step with the wrong intentions.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm going to do this, then I'm going to feel better. Sometimes people will tell you, what can you do? Stay out of my life and I never want to see you again.
Yeah.
But the harder ones, like what you just gave an example are, is the best ones.
Yeah.
The harder it is, you learn more from those
Yeah.
ones than me going to someone that really loves me and I ask them, what can I do to make this? Oh, just stay sober, Lorene. You're all right. Okay,
I've
that's
apologized.
easy.
Yeah, I've apologized to family members, and they've told me, he's like, dude, you were drunk.
Yeah.
Drunk people do.
Yes. Yeah, but the hard
Yeah.
ones are the ones that
Yeah.
let me know you hurt me and you did this to me. And you know, and I have to sit there and listen.
Yeah.
And,
Well,
yeah.
this last, I guess, I don't know, 6 years, when I was doing this heavy drinking, I drink by myself just because I didn't want to hurt anybody like I did before. You know, I mean, I might have been mean. I'm not gonna say I was ever. Maybe I was mean to her. I don't know. To my wife or to my daughters.
Right.
Because they're my world. You know, I
Yes.
treasure them more than anything. But I chose to drink by myself just because I used to be an ass and I didn't want to be that person no more. So I drink by myself, and everybody's like,
Yeah.
"Man, how'd you drink by yourself?" Easy.
Yeah.
I just did it.
Yeah.
And so these last 6 years, you know, I can't really say like drinking. You know, I did this when I was drinking because I was home. You know, I drank by myself. But maybe, you know, I've apologized to my wife a million times. Thank God she forgave me a million times. But I'm sure she'll forgive me again because I'm never gonna be perfect.
Right. Right.
You know?
And the program doesn't promise that.
No.
You know, it does tell me that if I keep doing this thing, it'll be better than it was before I came in. And if I don't like it, I can always get my misery back.
Yeah.
It's out there waiting for me.
Yeah,
you know, so I just choose not to. You know, it's like,
I mean, really, and you know, like when I first got sober, you know, people would say, "I'm proud of you, proud of you." I really didn't know how to take that at first because I wasn't really proud of. I was in the program, you know. I was happy that I was sober, but what was I proud of? This is something normal people should be.
Yeah.
How can you be proud of something that a normal person does?
you're supposed to be doing
Yeah.
this. See, I didn't get that. I'm glad you got it because I wanted to be rewarded
Yeah.
for doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And my
But the
sponsor
biggest-
used to say, "No, you don't get a reward.
Yeah, there's
You're
no reward
supposed to
for
be
it."
doing this."
Yeah. But the biggest thing I ever got was one day me and my wife were driving home from somewhere as a party. I don't remember. Her family has a lot of functions. And then she just looked at me and said, "You know, I'm in love with the person that you're becoming."
Awesome.
I was like,
Yeah.
that was the biggest reward I could have got.
Yeah. Yeah.
The biggest. I don't care how many times somebody says, "I'm proud of you," but when somebody says, "I'm in love with the person that you're becoming,"
Yeah.
or the person you are, that's huge. To me, that's huge.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
It is. And to get the trust back
Yeah.
is huge.
I can't really ever say my wife really trusts me a lot. I've always had a problem with jealousy, but I think I don't know if I've never. I can't say I broke that trust because I don't know, but she's always trusted me.
Good.
If I ever said I was going to do something, there's no question. I did it. You know,
Good.
people say, "Hey, can he go drink? Can he go?" He's grown. He's going to do what he wants to do, which I was probably going to do it anyway. But she could have said no.
Right.
She never did.
Well, it sounds like you found the good one.
I did.
Yeah.
Took a while for me to trick her, but I tricked her. I sure did.
So your little ones are what
Oh
age?
no, my kids are grown.
They're grown?
Yeah.
Okay.
My oldest daughter's 36. That's 31 and
God.
27. That's what
Okay.
goes back to where I tell you I started young. You know? So I grew up. I think it's I grew up fast. You know,
Yeah.
when I was 14, I was hanging out with kids who were 18. So of course I'm doing what 18-year-old kids do. You know, drinking, smoking,
Yeah.
being with women,
Yeah.
girls. I
Yeah.
wasn't a man. I was a boy. You know, I was
Yeah.
with girls.
So do your children see the change?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
do. They do.
Yeah.
And all my daughters drink, and of course, even when I was drinking, I worried about them. But I don't think any of them have a problem with it.
Good.
You know, and if
Good.
they did, I would let them know. You know, I wouldn't hound them about it, but I would
Right.
say, hey, you know what? It's not good. There's no good ending in being this person. You know, it's not. So I've got 3 daughters. I've got 3 good son-in-laws. Treat my daughters good.
Oh, good.
Got 4 grandkids.
Cool.
From 1 year old to about to be 17.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's just supposed to
Yeah.
be growing up fast, you know. And at first, it was, you know, it was hard, a lot of struggles. But I wouldn't change anything now. Nothing
Cool.
now.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, our journey, our life, and wherever we go, is ours. And if we didn't go through something, Abraham, I wouldn't have anything to share with you.
Yeah.
You know, I couldn't sit across from that addict or alcoholic and be able to say, I understand.
Yeah.
So it's amazing that I can come in. The thing that I fought against most, I thought the worst thing that could ever happen to me was that I was an addict and an alcoholic. But it's become my biggest blessing,
Yeah.
you know. So,
Yeah, because there's like goes a time like now I'm pretty fit right now, and I'm probably not where I want to be, but I'm good right now.
uh-huh.
And people just, man, imagine if you never drank or you never did this. And I was like, man, but I wouldn't have this story I got. I wouldn't have this
Yes.
story to share.
Right.
You know, I wouldn't.
Uh-huh.
You know, I could maybe
Yeah.
help somebody. And then there's a lot of my friends are asking me to do. I've had actually a couple friends and people that I just know from my route and stuff
Uh-huh.
ask me that they start doing an Instagram page.
Uh-huh.
You know, there's
You
like,
should.
I don't know. You know, I don't even know how to do one, but they're like, you know, you work a regular physically job.
Uh-huh.
You still find time to work out.
Uh-huh.
You're older. You know, I'm 51. Pretty fit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you'd reach out to a lot of people.
Yeah.
But man, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it'll come.
Yeah.
You know, pray about it and ask for direction,
Yeah.
and you already know. You know.
Yeah, I've been
it'll
wanting
come.
to do, and I've been wanting to do this even when I was drinking. But I've always wanted to do T-shirts with just different quotes on them.
Uh-huh.
And now I could maybe do one with sobriety quotes on it. You know,
Uh-huh.
I don't know. Just ideas.
Yeah. And that's the fun part about having a clear mind.
Yeah.
You know, I remember when I was drugging and drinking, I used to come up with some great ideas, but once I sober up, I don't know what they were.
Yeah.
You know, I forgot.
Yeah.
So now I don't have that problem anymore. I just forget. I forget shit normal.
Yeah, I remember everything. I just don't do everything, so I say I forgot. I just say, oh, I forgot. But
I just forgot to do
Yeah.
that.
yeah, but yeah, it's a pretty amazing journey. You know, I wouldn't change anything this time compared to the last time. Yeah, you know, I said I never lost the urge,
Uh-huh.
and I still hung around the same people, and I wanted to drink so bad.
Got
so
to
bad.
change your playmates.
This time, you know, that's the only people. I mean, I've never been actually a kind of person like to hang around my family just because all the stuff that was, you know, the drinking, the drugging,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and my personality. You know, if they say, "Hey, man, try this," if I was drunk, I'd probably try it.
Mm-hmm.
My addicted personality, man, I'd love it.
Mm-hmm.
So I've kind of always been distant from my family. I've always been hung around more friends, coworkers, you know, because we got a lot in common, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I'll still go out. You know, we have this little spot where they go after work. They drink beer. A couple of my friends that go out there and they'll have, hey, you coming? I say, yeah, I might stop by. They'll have Gatorade, water for me.
Uh-huh.
And perfect example is one guy. He's an older guy. He's a little bit older than me. He's getting ready to retire. Super awesome guy. But there was one day I was gonna go last year for Christmas. Go buy my son-in-law. One of my son-in-law's fathers a bottle of tequila. He's a big tequila man, and he's always giving me stuff. So I said, I'm gonna buy him a bottle of tequila. He's like, hey, B, where you going? I was like, man, I'm gonna go to the liquor store. He's like, man, don't do it. And I was like, no, it's not for me. It's for my son-in-law's father. He's like, well, you want me to go with you? And I was like, nah, I got this, Tony. But he's like, it's just that kind of person that I kind of pick and choose who I want to be around. And right now I'm choosing to be around positive people
Yes.
with the same goals. You know, I still hang around my friends at work. I love them guys. They're my family. But it's only for a little bit. I can only do it for a little bit, and then it's time for me to go.
Yeah, I can understand that. I think you were mentioning earlier about you and your wife went somewhere and she could look at you and tell when it's time to leave. I do. When I was early in recovery, I always drove my own car. If I couldn't, and I tried to get someone to go with me if I had to go somewhere where they were having alcohol. But I always drove. And the later it got, when I started getting tired, I knew, like what you're saying, she noticed with you. when I get tired, I know it's time to go.
I didn't look like I used to look.
Mm-hmm.
My mind wasn't right. You know,
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
It got to where when I was drinking them last 6 years, I drank every night until I passed out. And I have
Yeah.
a pretty physical job, so I get pretty dirty.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd wake up in the morning in the uniform, and I would change the uniform and go to work. I wouldn't bathe.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I'd wash my face, brush
Right.
my hair.
Wash my face, brush my teeth, and I'm off.
But it got to where I didn't care about I didn't care
Yeah.
about myself. Who
Yeah.
does that? Not a normal person.
No.
I've always been a pretty, vain person. I cared about how I looked.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
I gave up, or I just don't know how to explain it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't care about myself anymore.
It's
Didn't care about
similar
my
to being
parents.
depressed.
Yeah.
In the 12-step rooms, I used to hear people say their sponsor had to tell them to shower, take a bath. And I used to think, why do you need somebody to tell you to take a bath and shower?
Mm-hmm.
I know, because I was in denial that, you do need somebody to tell you to do that, because if you're chasing a drug or alcohol, that's the least thing that's on your mind. You might put makeup on, you might brush your teeth. I mean, for us women, we put makeup on, brush our teeth. But the other part, you're in a hurry.
Yeah.
So
You gotta get it.
you do need, in early recovery, I know people do need that.
Yeah.
They do need
Yeah,
that.
because I know when I was in the facility and I was there with people, I was like, man, this guy's really an alcoholic, But I'm sitting there, right next to the person.
Yeah.
And I never was a beer drinker. I could have beer in my fridge and I would not drink it.
Yeah.
I had two things I drank: bourbon and vodka, and I had plenty of it. I guess that was nothing. If I was an alcoholic, wouldn't be able to afford to drink like this.
Uh-huh.
Alcoholics don't got money.
Yeah, they live on the bridges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I drank.
They don't have houses.
So then when I would you talking to the guys, my roommates, and they're like, "Oh, you were a high class alcoholic."
Yeah.
What's a high class alcoholic? I had a certain brand that I bought, and that was it.
Yeah.
But I could keep beer in the fridge forever, and I wouldn't touch it because it wasn't my
it
thing.
wasn't my brand.
Yeah.
That's not what I like.
So how can I be an alcoholic if there's nothing to drink, but I'm not drinking that beer?
Uh-huh.
Well, how is an alcoholic? It's just your mind's stupid, or it's not functioning right.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's like, if I'm an alcoholic, why am I able to stop?
Yeah.
That's what I would tell myself. I don't drink every day. I only drink on weekends. I do my drugs on weekends, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Well, Friday, that's when you.
That's when
it's
you start.
time to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when you start.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. When Sunday, you kind of wheel it in.
I would go to work drunk, and my supervisor. I mean, I'm not the best employee, but I'm a good employee.
Mm-hmm.
There would be times I call in, "Hey, man, I'm still drunk, man. I can't come to work."
Mm-hmm.
You came to drunk the other day. Come on, we need you. So I was driving drunk.
Yeah.
It'd be about 11 o'clock where I'm finally getting better or sober, and not a normal person does that.
Yeah.
Who goes to work drunk?
Alcoholics. did.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's just crazy now that I think about the stuff that I did. Wow, why? How?
Yeah. It's amazing how the mind start clearing up, and it's like, why would I do those kind of, especially if something important was happening, like if I knew that I was going to get a interview, or I had a function or something coming up, I had to drink.
Yeah,
I had to drink. I used to get lost in the airport because I'd be in the stall, and when they called for your flight, I would be passed out.
Oh, wow.
And then my ex, he's got everybody calling me on the intercom. And then when I come to, I just go out and I'm like nothing's happened, right? Well, I didn't remember because I've had a blackout. And I'm like, he's mad at me. I'm like, what's wrong with you? We missed our flight.
Oh.
That's why he's mad at me. It's no big thing.
One.
We can catch another one.
Yeah.
What's the big deal? I still have that kind of, I still act like that. That's a part of me that haven't.
You still got to fix.
I still act like I still don't let things really get me down. I still carry that with me, but I'm more aware of if it affects someone
Other
else.
people. Okay.
Yeah, if it's me,
That's clear mind.
yeah, if it's me, it's like usually I'm okay with it because I know it's going to work itself out. So I don't stress over it.
Yeah, I try not to stress it all anymore.
Yeah, you sound like
go-
an alcoholic.
Yeah, I just go with the flow.
I do too, basically.
Yeah.
I go with the flow because it's like I think we stressed over things out of our control so long and things that we couldn't
Yeah.
do anything about. So now that we're sober, I can speak for me. Now that I'm sober, I don't want to carry that burden.
Yeah, that goes along with the serenity prayer.
Yes,
Yeah, I got to
it
put that
does.
there so I don't forget.
I love that. Yeah,
If you can't control
Yeah.
it,
leave it
leave it
alone.
alone.
Yeah. When before you came into the rooms, did you know that serenity prayer?
Well,
I'm
I knew
sure
it
you
before.
did.
I knew it before,
Uh-huh.
but I didn't understand
You
it.
didn't know what it truly
Yeah.
meant. Me either. I took it to another. Oh wow! I thought it was about me being God placing me where I can help you people that were too weak to speak up for yourselves. So He placed me there so I can be your voice.
Yeah.
That's what I used to think the serenity
No.
prayer was all about me.
No,
So
it's
Abe, I'm sorry. Pull that mic towards you just a little bit more. A little bit up. Right there. Down just a little. Right there. You're good.
Okay.
And action.
yeah. So
yeah, that goes along with the and since I've gotten sober, I hated reading books. And I'm not saying I'm reading books now. It takes me forever to read books because I think I was dyslexic growing up. So my reading's terrible. My wife always says, read it together. It will take forever.
yeah.
So, but I do read, and I read this the other day, or actually, maybe, I don't remember if I read it or saw it, so I just can never remember.
I
But
can't remember stuff
went-
either.
It was just somebody's talking about, I think it was YouTube, and he said, if you can't control it, then don't worry about it. And that he just mentioned, like, because my job's outside the heat. Well, I can't control the heat, so you have to learn to deal with it and just let it be. But that goes along with anything in life. You can't control anything.
It's wearing life like a loose garment. I love that.
Yeah.
We say that a lot in my group. But sometimes it's hard to remember those things that we learn when we're in the heat of the moment, where it talks about pause when agitated. It talks about practicing these principles in all of your affairs. When I'm in the heat of the moment, sometimes I forget all that program stuff until I get in so much pain until it's like, wait a minute, I have a program and
You have
I'm not
tools.
working
Yeah.
it. Those are my tools and I have to get back. Does you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, see, I've been doing everything, like, as far as, like, the only thing that I still do with is road rage. And I think it's just because I drive
Yeah,
for a
you keep
living.
saying that.
And I keep telling my wife I'm going to start a driving school for dummies and pass that card out. Maybe I need to. But it's just the only really thing that I'm struggling with because I react so fast. But everything else is like, okay,
You're good.
I'm good. Like, something happens, all right, let me think. Okay,
Yeah.
this is what you
Yeah.
need to do. I could do that now.
Uh-huh.
But before, I only had one reaction. And, my goal was fight or flight. Is that what it's called? And I always chose the wrong one.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. Yeah. Those, like the character defects, one of mine is controlling. And then I have the judgmental one. I'm not, every once in a while it'll peep its ugly head up, but not as often as it used to. I'll do it inside my head, and when I do it inside my head, okay, here come Judge and Judy, because that's the name that I gave it.
yourself.
Yeah, so it's like having that rubber band that you popping. So when I said Judge and Judy, I know I need to stop that behavior.
Yeah.
But the control, some of them aren't, just because they're character defects don't mean that they're all bad. It's according to how you use them.
To the situation, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, it's like sometimes I can be controlling with certain things, but maybe there's a need for that.
Yeah.
It's according to how extreme I go with it. So all of my character defects, some of them stuck around because I was comfortable with them, but the longer I'm sober, I'm finding out some of them I no longer need. Back when I was drinking and drugging, they were my protection.
Yeah.
But now that I'm no longer going to those places, I don't need those certain behaviors. So I can toss those aside. Are you familiar with?
Yeah, because character defect, that'd be a whole series.
No,
I've got
yeah.
a bunch of them.
You say I got a bunch of them.
Yeah, but I don't know. Just one day at a time, step by step.
Mm-hmm. That's one of my favorite too. One day at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of like how I live life now. Just I can't think about what I'm gonna do tomorrow because tomorrow ain't even came.
It ain't promised.
It's not promised.
Yeah, it ain't promised. It's like what I'm doing right now, and being in the moment and enjoying this podcast with you, Abraham, because this is a moment that I can't get back.
Yeah.
So, and I want to look back on and remember, man, we had a good chat going on there. I like that.
We did. We are.
This is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, something that I can't ever get back, but I can have the memory of it and remember how you made me feel at the time we were talking.
It's just, I don't even understand how, like, this changes I'm going through is like, I never used to, I would, if you told me a joke, of course I'd laugh.
Yeah.
But I never smiled, I can't stop smiling now.
Uh-huh.
I never used to cry.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could watch the saddest thing happen and it didn't bother me. I cry for everything now. I don't
get your feelings
a long time
back.
ago, dude, why are you crying? You're supposed to be a man. Well, I figured out men cry.
That went out the door when you came into the 12th.
Yeah, no, I cry all the time now. I think it's something happy. Oh man, I start getting sad. I get emotional.
Yeah.
It's just I can't even explain how this has made me feel. It's just It's just maybe it's just the desire I have to stay sober. Can't explain it.
And to live.
Yeah.
Just to live life.
Yeah, I know I didn't want to die. That's why.
Yeah.
Why? Who wants to die?
Mm-hmm.
I know the Bible says when you're dead, that's the prize. I'm not ready for the prize yet.
Ain't nobody ever came back and told me that it was anything great.
Getting to heaven, that's the prize, but I'm just not ready to be there yet.
Yeah.
I'm ready to be. I want to be
I
here.
want to live.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to live. Yeah.
There's so much I want to see.
Mm-hmm. And do. It's
me and my wife were supposed to go to Spain. She never got her passport. But we were supposed to go to Spain. And then I started thinking about it. Wow, Spain's wine. I liked wine. Maybe it wasn't my time to be there yet.
Yeah. Yeah. But now maybe you can.
Maybe as soon as when a passport comes, when everything falls into place.
Yeah. It just goes so smooth, doesn't it?
And why
when you're
rush
trying
it?
to force it, you can tell, you know what? There's something going on that I can't see, and I'm trying to force something that it's not time for. That's how I look at that.
Accept the things.
Cannot change, and the courage to change the things that I can. Amen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're going to wrap this up, and man, what a blessing.
Yeah.
What a blessing.
It is.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed chatting with you.
Yeah. And then I did this one time. I was with a friend of mine. They're doing a documentary on. So we did a little talk. Like it's for a news channel. They asked him a question. And they asked me just one thing. I would remember what it was. But they said, well, if I could help one person. And this was a whole different thing. But now I think about it. It's like, well, if I could help one person stay sober, then I'm good. I don't need to help 1 million people. I just need to help one that really wants it and really needs it.
Yeah. I tell my producer that if one person could hear our episode and they get it, we've won.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
Because I still see things on, I watch a lot of inspirational stuff and listen to it while I'm driving to work. Because I really don't, I listen to music coming home. But getting there, it's just weird. Like, I'm the kind of person, I guess we have like a, what do you call it? It's something I have to do. I forget what they call it. I do the same thing every morning.
Repetition?
Yeah, I guess. What's it called, Tam?
A routine.
A routine.
I have a routine that I follow every morning, and now I chose to put music out of it. So I leave work, I listen to inspirational stuff, and that helps me get my mind to where I need to be for that day.
I work out, listen to spiritual music.
Yeah,
that's how I work out.
I listen to some spiritual music, but
you got to have your jam on.
Yeah, I still like that crazy music.
Yeah. I do the spiritual when I'm working out.
Yeah.
Tell me who I turned you on to.
What's Earl Nightingale? You're talking about, when you were talking about the traffic. I think this helped me a lot. Earl Nightingale said, when you're in the traffic and you're driving and someone cuts you off and you react to that person, then you become that person yourself. You're one of them. So anytime that you're in traffic and you're...
Is that a female or is that a male?
Earl Nightingale is a male. Yeah, you should listen to... He talks attitude.
Okay.
Attitude. Oh my God.
I think I might listen to it because that might have been the person that I heard talk about if you can't control it, then, just it goes something. Because he did say something about being in traffic. The old lady driving in front of you can't control her. So
yeah, he says when you're talking about those people, he talks about the 100% and 95%, and you should be the 5. Most of us, we strive to be the 5%, but you become that 95% when you acting like them. And
I need to listen to
so
that.
when I'm in traffic, and I'm pretty good with traffic. Because I'm the one you probably blowing on because I'm like, my mind's all over. I'm trying to do 5 or 6 things at once anyway, and people are blowing, and it's like, well, you can come around anytime you want.
Yeah.
You're not going to, and they
might be the same person listening
I'm
to
probably the one that you're blowing at and stuff, right?
So I'm terrible at it.
I'm going to send you Earl Nightingale.
I'll listen to it.
You got to do it for 30 days.
Oh.
Listen to him for 30 days, and it'll start sinking in.
Yeah, because I know even sometimes I listen to some stuff, and I'm like, man, that's good. Let me send that to my grandson. Let me send it to my nephew. Somebody.
I do that.
Yeah.
I send it to my son when I find something good, and Tam we share stuff with each other. But I love Earl Nightingale. Yeah, he's got one about gratitude. I can't even find that one. I listened to it once, and now I can't even find it. I've even Googled Earl Nightingale gratitude.
That's because you needed it right at that time.
I guess. It reminds me of the 12 steps. I think he's one of. I'm gonna look it up before I label that man. So, but some of his stuff sounds so much like ours,
like the program.
So I'm gonna look it up and make sure.
I'll listen to it.
But he's on cue.
Because I just really have to get my mind right to get to work, and it's something I've always done. It's a routine.
Yeah, I try to, like, my phone's on the side of the bed. I click it before I get up, because I go to bed a spiritual giant, and then I wake up a raging alcoholic in the morning. If I don't have something going, I wake up mad at everybody. I start going down the list in my head of who's pissed me off, who I'm mad at. If I don't play something immediately. Wow. That's how this brain of mine works.
So, our broken minds.
I'm broken mind, so I have to immediately start working on it with some program.
Yeah.
So
I'm grateful for the guy that lives on my route, because anytime I have anything, and I'll ask him.
Good.
And most of the time he says, you already know the answer.
Yeah.
You already know the
You're
answer.
just asking because you want him to say something different than what you want to hear.
You want to hear something different.
Yeah.
Different answer.
It's like when I'm disturbed, something in me that's causing me to be disturbed. I used to get so mad when they would say that.
Yeah.
I used to say, that ain't true. How's it me? That person in front of me is the one that's pissing me off.
Yeah.
But finally it clicked. No, they're acting away something that's triggering me because I can't act like that anymore. So it's something about me that I need to research or do some work on to find out why I'm being disturbed.
Yeah, I did something a while back, and I was so upset with myself for doing it because I'm trying to be a better human.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, I was like, man, at that moment, I was like, I needed to do that. But then after a while, I had so much not hate for myself. I was disappointed in myself.
Yeah,
I was just
that only lasts for a little while with me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't beat myself up. It's like
I told
did
some
it
people,
and I'm done.
Yeah, I told some friends, we talk about it. I said, man, I shouldn't have did that. And they're like, and everybody says the same thing. Well, he had that coming.
Yeah.
So, but it's myself, I'm like, man, I'm trying to be a better person.
Yeah, but if I feel, did you tell the person that you told what you done to, were they in the rooms or were they friends? It's two different.
Not a friend. Well, I could say we were friends.
Were they in the program?
No, they're not.
You're going to get two different answers. Mm-hmm. If I tell someone in the program something horrible that I've done, except for that one over there, she's kind of... But if I tell, they're going to give me a different answer.
Yeah.
They're going to say, if you're thinking about it and you feel bad about it, that means you owe that person an amends.
Yeah.
Because what I have to do, I follow this rule of thumb. Is it kind, necessary, doesn't need to be said by me. If all three of those things are yes, then I'm okay. Mm-hmm. If one of the three things it's just yes, then it's not my job to do that. Why am I the messenger to try to correct someone? Because it can be that I'm being judgmental if they didn't ask for my advice. So what made you select yourself to be the sports person?
Yeah.
To try to correct that person? Was it your job?
No.
Well, what was your agenda? You have to check your motives because you work a program that teaches you to do that. Because if you're feeling horrible about it, then you get it in your gut and you know that you've done something that you shouldn't have done. In the past, I would ignore that and say, well, what you just said, he deserved it.
He had that coming.
Somebody that's an escape.
Yeah. To
treat someone a way that I know I shouldn't be doing. But do I not do that? I do it too. Yeah, I'm human.
Yeah.
Nobody told me that I'm going to be perfect. But today I can go back and say, you know what? I shouldn't have talked to you like that. That wasn't my job to say that to you. Mm-hmm. I'm able to do that now. I try to not step on people's toes anymore because I don't like making amends.
Yeah, I don't like people stepping on mine. So.
Yeah, but who are you?
Yeah.
People are going to always step on your toes.
I'm not special.
You're not special. So it's according to how I respond when you step on my toes. If I curse you out, then what does that make me? If you step on my toes and I say, Abraham, please don't do that to me again. That hurts me. And then you come back and you do it again, I can make this decision to not have anything else to do with you.
Yeah.
Because I've already told you I didn't like you treating me like that. But if you continue to do it, now it's on me. Because I'm accepting this agreeing. I'm letting you do that to me. So I'm saying I'm okay with it. But it's boundaries.
Yeah. But I'm still working on myself.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm working right along with you.
Yeah.
Right along with you. Progress, not perfection.
Yep.
Yeah, I love that.
Baby steps.
Baby steps. Baby steps. Thank you for listening to Silver Lining Nation. And if nobody tells you today that they love you, heard from us here at Silver Lining, we love you. You guys take care.